We're on our way to the island of Zia, which is very close to Athens. Like this is Athens here, and we went this way, and this is the island of Kea. And all these are the Cyclades. It's very popular because it's like an hour's ride by boat, and all the other islands it's like up to 3-4 hours. So it's like a place you can actually go for the day. It's part of the Cycladic Islands, but it's not the one that defines Cyclades. I mean, it's not like Mykonos or Santorini or Paros with the whitewashed houses. In fact, you may not find that many whitewashed houses over there.
Do we need to get in our car?
We're gonna go. Now we're leaving the harbor slowly. My friend Giorgos had a property, and his brothers, they inherited this property, which is on the other side of this hill. He wanted to do something. Now the thing is that Giorgos' family likes camping a lot, and we both were for this idea of doing something simple. You see, now that's an old house. It's whitewashed. We decided to keep that look. Like when you have a vacation house means I don't have to work. Once you have to do something for the house, then it's no longer vacation. So you have to keep it simple. They used to camp actually where the house is right now, because at this spot is where you get the best view of the sea. Both our families like camping, so I was designing a house, a camping house, like a place to camp, which feels like camping, but it's not like exactly like home. I was trying to find the threshold between what is camping and what is absolutely necessary to be sheltered, and what is not necessary at all, so you feel you're out there, you're a little bit exposed, You get out in the middle of the night and you're a little bit scared. You get a little bit wet in the winter. You become part of these elements. We have the shower here, which you see it's open. So like even in the winter, you take a shower. It's cold outside, but that's how it is. Yeah, we figure it's okay if you see somebody's head in the shower because you know that somebody's taking a shower. These were made locally, and it's like the very basics. I mean, these are stones from the property, clearly. We didn't buy fancy lighting fixtures. We're using these nautical storm lights. I like the exterior washroom as well because you have this wonderful view. Of course, that's a disadvantage. People tend to take longer time in here. And this is a picture of the property before it was built. The area here is called Fotimari. Fotimari means a lot of light. It's very bright, like the moon is very bright over here. And that's why it's called Fotimari, Phos light.
Yeah.
Photo, that's right. And this is the sink. We have the little basic mirror, just enough to get a shave. Of course, it's a bit warped, but if you cut yourself, you get to see the bleed, that's for sure. And then you have your basic basin, which is a copper tube, really, and that's about it.
It's almost figuring out how to do things in a minimal way is the luxury.
Exactly. It is a luxury. It's a type of luxury. Here is our kitchen. So here's the sink. You got a small fridge there. The wall is all local stone, and it was built on the footprint of the old wall, and we just continue with that. And this is our shelving. So they're just kind of loose. Nothing's permanent. Of course, we cannot fold in the house itself, but everything else we can. This is your stove here and your coffee maker. It's a complete house. It's got everything.
A complete camping house.
Yeah, it's a complete camping house, right.
It's really outdoors, isn't it? Oh.
No, because we have these two rooms, and you have like a couple staying on the one room and another couple in the other room. The two rooms create a space in between them, and that's the third space, which happens to be outdoors, but it could be indoors. I mean, if you can add a wall here, and then you got your third room.
And how do you define?
It's here. I define it because I have a step, and from the step in is part of the house, and once you're out there, you're out there. It's all open. You get a fully exposed. Ecologia, ecos is a home, but it's also shelter and it's your surroundings. Home is your surroundings, it's not a house. It doesn't mean that it has 4 walls and a door and a window and air conditioning and all that. It's where you live. 4 walls makes a shelter. And then you start making choices about that shelter. I mean, whether you want to enter and exit, you want to stay in there forever, whether you want to get drained in, whether you want to have a view of the outside, and what kind of view you want to have and why. So, you know, you come out of here and you just say your good mornings. You know, if it's raining, you just wave at each other.
It's raining today, Takis.
Yes, it's raining today.
We better stay apart.
No cooking today. You know.
So you wanted it to be 2 rooms.
I wanted it to be 2 rooms. Like Giorgos, many times he just gives the keys to friends and they come and they stay in the one room without bothering the rest of the place. Like they have their own stuff here and you can go with your stuff there and live this...
And privacy.
and you have your privacy. I mean, when you camp, there is a moment where you want to escape, and when you camp, that's a difficult thing to do, because how much you can escape in a tent. But over here, you know, you close the door, you close both halves of the door, and you're right in there, all alone, and you have your little access to seeing what's going on.
I think.
We have the shutters from the inside because they get beat up by the weather. Plus, it's very easy when it's very windy or it's raining or whatever. It's very easy to close it from the inside without opening your window. This is a lamp which I designed. They don't like bright light.
So they want even indoors to feel camping.
Exactly. This is their closet over here. Just, you know, the logs from the property. I tried designing in a way like whatever we found on the property we used to make this. So they're very simple. Of course, they cheated a little bit. They use hangers. But the thing is that when you go camping, you don't have many clothes. So you actually don't need a closet. You're down to the bare basics, and it's very interesting because that's when you realize how much you really need. You see, this is the bathroom here, and there is no door. Well, it's a camping house. This is the shower. It's, of course, some people use this as a bidet as well.
Oh, like it's a toilet and shower.
Yeah, it's a toilet shower. You have a little stone here for the toilet paper. Half of it is the simplicity. Of course, the stone was here, so you put it there. But it's also practical. This thing will never collect soap or anything. It will always be like a stone. It puts things into a different perspective, I think, when you make this move to live in a place like this. Even if it's not your mentality, but you take a chance at a place like this, I think it will change you.
We had the land for 20 years. And then my elder daughter, she said, "Daddy, why don't you clean it up so we can come and stay here with our friends with tents?" And then I called my brothers and I said, "Guys, I'm building." They got crazy. So wait, because we own the land together. So we said, okay, why don't we get this camping thing and see really how much do we like the place. And then we rented and we stayed here for 2 years. So there was nothing else. And this was our shower. So you could come from the beach and you could go in here and then you could wash yourself. Now the car you cannot really see, but then here you're exposed. So you're exposed from here up. So marginally both men and women could have a shower. For 20 years it's nothing. So it was to live and feel how much did we really like the place. You have to see this. Let me. We have a friend who used to come and sleep here.
Inside?
Yes. You know, in the summertime, the walls are bigger than a meter, so it's so cool. Come and follow me. Come inside, low.
Okay, really low.
Come inside. We used to come in here and just sit behind this open window and see the view and imagine, because there was nothing, it was just a camping, and have a cup of coffee, you know, protected from the rain or the wind or whatever. In life, you know, there are things you may pass by and not notice. And suddenly you see something that you see every day, and then you discover the view, or how can you really enjoy this, what you see, and you haven't noticed before. It's nothing, it's nothing. But then you say, wow, it has always been there, just needed waiting to be discovered.
Yeah, I mean, it's crystal clear. You can see the bottom.
I think that's the beauty of it, though, that you see something and you're like, my God, I never thought of that. But the moment you see it, it's familiar. I think that's something that art provides. It shows you the obvious in many ways.
So I have some watercolors. I love water and I also have some flowers.
I mean, you have the photograph and you have the drawing. The photograph is exactly what you see, and the drawing is what you see in what you see. To pinpoint the obvious. So I think with the architect's work, aside from whatever is functional that you have to provide for your client,
Κάνε λίγο πιο εκεί να δείξω το παράθυρο.
you need to bring out the obvious, to remind them.
This is our outdoors window. Isn't that beautiful? It's a mindset. I mean, this picture comes into your mind when you're sitting here and you turn to the left and then you say, that is a window. But it's nothing, it's just a space. But that's how. Let me take the chair.
Okay, yeah.
This is the hardest thing to do, to keep it simple. Every time you come here, then you find something and you say, okay, we might need this here and we might need to put a table there or a picture here, whatever. But we have really been holding on to the basic idea, which is keep it as simple as possible. That's not easy, I tell you.
So this space, this is multi-use.
It is the guest room. These things drop, there's a sliding platform and it becomes a double bed. So 4 people can sleep in here. Otherwise, they just use it as a living room. They have their stove here in the winter, the 2 of them. He does work, but not all the time. But when he does, he wants something steady, sheltered, with a nice view.
I have my notebook. I have my PC. So sometimes I come here and we do that.
It's all here.
No paintings, no nothing, just this. That was Takis' original plan for the house. And then we started changing a little bit. I told him that you cannot have these really wide doors in front because the wind is coming from there and it's really, really strong. How do you find this one? That's new.
It's perfect. No, it's not foreign. We used to not have this part of the wall and you could see the kitchen straight through. But in August it gets extremely windy here, like you cannot stand anywhere. So we had to redefine certain spots.
That's enough.
And we have this sliding door to help out with that. So it shelters you from the upcoming winds from here.
My idea was that this wouldn't be outdoors. It would be like a garage. So it should be that big as it is from here. And we should have, how do you call these garage doors? The rollers, And then he said, why do you really want that? Let it be open. And then we said, okay.
Well, you get to have a bigger kitchen. Keep on pushing out.
And people still do not believe it. How can you do it? But you don't need more. No, you cook. You bring, the one is barbecuing down there, normally me. The other is cutting the salad. And the rest are sitting here, so we're all...
I don't care if it's getting messy.
If it's getting what?
Messy.
Messy.
So, let's try this. I think the children... Somebody's making the salad or the rice or whatever here, right? And the people are sitting on the table. At some point, the dinner ends and, it's getting late and people want to go, and rest, okay? But then some want to stay. Where are they going to stay? And then we have created another small neighborhood. Come and sit here. If you're sitting here at night and some people are gonna go up and get some rest. You cannot hear anything upstairs, I mean, from the backside, because the sound goes straight. So you have your privacy, they have their privacy. You can have a drink and talk about anything, whatever. It's just you. And you still have the beautiful views down here. This is a small neighborhood. I mean, it's just space. We call it neighborhood. I mean, in Greek, gitonia. Gitonia.
Itonia, okay.
Yeah. And then, then we have the other one, which is the oasis, what we call oasis. I mean, in the middle of the desert, you find a small lake and some trees. This is oasis. This is our oasis. And you have another neighborhood. So we have this little table, or you can sit here. And still isolated in peace, and especially in the summertime, it's the only place where you have natural shade to stay cool in the hot summer days. And this is another neighborhood. I mean, eventually my brother bought the camping ground.
See, it's very nice because when you come down here, it's two simple white lines. It makes the house smaller, and I like that, how it can disappear. You can see the house insulation from here. So you have the beams and then you have the canes. Then we have a very thin slab of cement. And then we have 30 centimeters of gravel. And that's our insulation. And we've put up some bigger rocks so the pebbles don't get blown away. It doesn't get any fresher than that in the summertime. There is nothing else you can add to improve it. There is nothing to invent really, if you think about it. When it comes to house technology, I think everything is there at this point. When I was approaching the property, the only built thing there was this little white house. That's why we decided to keep it white. That's the context that we had. And we thought we can be part of the neighborhood this way. Some people see something simple and they're like, oh, that's simple. There isn't much to it. But the truth is that if you want to design something very simple, to make it minimal, it's very, very difficult. This is a table that I designed. And these are boards that we use for scaffolding. Like when you set up the scaffolding, you put these boards and you walk on. So we sanded them down a bit, and this is our table, which of course you dismantle. You can fold in these tables. The legs you take them off. It's not welded or screwed or nailed. It's jammed really, that's how it stands. And even this little stool is from the remaining parts from the beam. Nothing got thrown away. These are beams, they're chestnut beams. And the rest is just cane. They're local. The canes are everywhere.
It provides enough shelter.
Well, you have the shade. It gets darker if you want to read something which you cannot read in the sunlight. It does not shelter you from the rain, of course. We wanted to do that. We wanted to live that experience.
Things have to be discovered. They are there. You see them every day, but you don't know they're there. Everybody is sitting, watching the views down to the sea. If you sit the other way around and you see the sky, it is, something really breathtaking.
When you call home your country, whatever, your place where you come from, you're probably not even going to describe a house. You may describe a tree, the weather, the lighting, the food, maybe the music.
We very, very seldom listen to music here. We are listening to the void, to the, nothing. You can hear the birds fly. You can hear the wings of the birds flying. So I don't need music. And it's exactly the same with the light. I wanted to have as low as possible to not disturb this. Enough to read, but not a very hard light to disturb the peace that this environment brings to us. It's a bit bigger than a summer house. It's my sanctuary. It's my escape, my peace.